Okay, so our first one here, this is the first alternative to Vajrasattva, and as I was saying, the Vajrasattva practice we already have, and that was practice number 16, although he's visualized in that one as being above our head with the focus on the purification. In this practice described by Padmasambhava, we visualize him about the size of our hand just right out in front of us. So that part is a little bit different than the actual sadhana, but in terms of the description and everything else is the same. So now we're looking at the first of the alternatives, and one of the alternatives in the text that I read was Shakyamuni Buddha, the historical Buddha. And so we have an alternative. So the first alternative here, fitting the same format that we've done before, we begin by setting our intention, what it is that we want to accomplish during the meditation, and then taking refuge 3 times, and then the visualization. So here we begin with stillness of body, speech, and mind. And then from emptiness, we almost always begin deity practice from emptiness. In some cases, they have an emptiness mantra that we actually recite as a part of that, but others do not. They'll just say from emptiness. But here it's an interesting combination. It says from emptiness and compassion. Because at the ultimate level, we talk about different kinds of emptiness. We've talked before, for example, about appearance emptiness, and we've talked about luminous emptiness, and so forth. And the final one is compassion emptiness, and the union of those two. So with the historical Buddha, the reference to emptiness and compassion together is an important one. So from emptiness and compassion, a syllable hung appears and radiates and absorbs golden light. So from the hung at our heart, then it radiates out and then comes back in again as a blessing to us. It's golden light. And then from that we appear as Shakyamuni Buddha. So we become Shakyamuni Buddha in the visualization. Sitting in the Vajra posture, with his legs crossed and his hands together in the meditation. Now that's not his normal pose, but at this point he's like that. Oh no, he's not. Go on here. Vajra posture and touching the ground. So his right hand is reaching down, usually with a finger pointed down, touching the ground, and radiating 5-colored light in all directions. So up, down, front, back, all around. Then with the 3 syllables, Om Ah Hong, in the 3 places, our forehead, throat, heart, so those would be white, red, and blue. Light emanates from the seed syllable Hong at my heart, inviting the wisdom beings in the form of Shakyamuni Buddha, which dissolve inseparably into myself. I am empowered by the deity. This is a very compact version of how to do this kind of practice. And so the light radiates out and invites the wisdom beings. So we have imagined ourselves as a Buddha. That's called a Samaya being, and so we are the Samaya deity, and we're kind of an imagined deity. Then it goes out, and the real deities, if you will, come back to us, and then as a part of that, oftentimes there are offerings and so forth, but then they dissolve into us. Now we are one and the same with them. So we are empowered by the deity. Then I offer a cloud of offerings to the deities in the expanse of pure awareness. So then there's another round of offerings there. In the expanse of pure awareness, I praise the display of all appearances of the mind of the deity, myself. So the appearance, the things that come out from this pure awareness, which is the mind of the deity, is a manifestation of us as the Buddha. Around the Hong on the moon disk at my heart, so there's usually a lotus, and then here's a moon disk, a white disk on top of that, and then the Hong, which is standing upright above that. On the moon disk at my heart, the mantra circles clockwise around. Okay, so there's different syllables from that, which is, you can see it listed down below here, and it is circling around in a clockwise manner. So each time we recite it, we visualize it as making one rotation. And then it radiates offerings to the Buddhas and absorbing blessings that purify the two obscurations of all beings. Those are afflictive emotions and mental obscurations. So we're seeing this radiate out to, there's still this cloud of beings around us. The first wave of beings absorbed into us, the second wave of beings are still in this cloud around us. So they're all the same. We're all Shakyamuni Buddha. Okay? And so then the light radiates out to them and radiates back in as blessings from those Buddhas, and that then purifies the obscurations. Appearance and existence becomes spontaneous, radiant display of the three Vajras. So we automatically, as a part of this, the three Vajras, the Om, Ahong, the three Buddha bodies, or the Dharmakaya, Sambhogakaya, and Nirmanakaya. Okay? So as we visualize this, we continue visualizing, we recite the mantra. So the visualization is really the first part, and then the second part is the mantra, and then the third part is the closing prayers, if you will. And then the mantra and meditation are part of that. But we recite the mantra, Om Muni Muni Mahamuni Yeso Ha. And so Muni refers to Shakya Muni, who's from the Shakya clan, and he's a member of the Shakya clan. So Muni, great Muni, Maha means great Muni, Yeso Ha. So we're asking him to give us the blessings of being the realized Buddha. We recite that as much as we can. Typical to recite 108 or one mala of beads around. And then, but if we have time, do more. If we don't have that much time, it's okay to do less. And then we dissolve the visualization. And typically the visualization is either dissolved instantly or it's dissolved in phases. You'll see some of these texts which actually go through a gradual dissolution, and we dissolve from the outside in those cases. So any things that are out there, like the deities, in this case the other forms of the Buddha, dissolve into our body. Our body dissolves from the top down and the bottom up to the things that are at the heart, the lotus and so forth. And then the lotus dissolves into the moon disk dissolves into the mantra dissolves into the seed syllable then dissolves from the bottom up, and a lot of times above the seed syllable, the actual seed syllable, will be a crescent and a circle and then a little nada, a little curved shape thing. And so it's all dissolved in phases from the bottom of the syllable up through the top, through the crescent, the little circle, the bindu, and the nada into emptiness. So it's a kind of nice way to visualize that transition into emptiness. So with that, there's no more visualization, and we just rest in that natural state of mind, the state of emptiness. If thoughts come up, again, we just let them go at this point, similar to what Padmasambhava described in that second part that I read, where if thoughts come up, you just let them go. Or you focus on them for a moment and then dissolve the thought into emptiness and continue resting in emptiness. And then you do that as long as you can. Then you reappear as the deity. And this text does not say that, but that's the normal process. And then we recite closing prayers. Here we have Hri. I offer an ocean of offering clouds, actual and imagined. So oftentimes in these prayers we make additional offerings. I praise the deities of the all-expansive purity of samsara and nirvana. Forgive me for any faults, errors, or wrongs I have done. And this is particularly during the actual practice. So if we messed up, we're asking them to forgive us. Sometimes texts will also then actually recite the Vajrasattva mantra again at this point as a way of purifying those errors from the practice. Then accept my apology and bestow the city of purity. Then we dedicate the merit, and as a little bit different here with deity practice, a little than what our post-meditation was in the previous practices. So in this case, then, we have arisen as Shakyamuni Buddha right after doing the meditation, and so the post-meditation is to continue as the deity, in this case Shakyamuni Buddha, throughout our daily activities. So the meditation doesn't end at the end of the sadhana. It continues on. We continue to remind ourselves, I am Shakyamuni Buddha. I try the best of my ability to think like Shakyamuni Buddha, to act like Shakyamuni Buddha, to talk like Shakyamuni Buddha, and so forth. So we actually then, through this process, become the deities. We practice it. We imagine ourselves visually and so forth as being the deity, and that then is the process of deity yoga, of actually becoming the deity eventually when we get to that state.